Hello and welcome back to another Study Bean advice video. Today's video we're going to be discussing the ultimate revision advice. So these are tips and tricks that you can use across a range of exams, whether that be GCSEs, A-levels or even just class Quizlet, to hopefully get the top grades. So I hope you have a notepad and some highlighters ready, and let's begin. My first tip is to make your revision resources early, whether that be notes or flashcards. Hopefully this means that when you're actually revising for your test, that you'll be able to use more active recall techniques instead of just making notes all the time, which in the long run aren't actually helpful is in cementing the knowledge inside your head. If you really have no time left and you have no time to make revision resources, I recommend physics and maths tutor shadow notes and also using your spec to check and make sure you've got all the information that you need. With the notes and the spec is that when you're going through, you want to be using your spec and make sure your notes are in line with this. The spec, as you know from basically every other video I've talked about, is literally the most important tool. So you can find that by going on the internet and basically searching for your topic or / subject, aka like biology, your exam boards, say like AQA, and like the level you're doing that, so A-level or GCSE, and then just type in spec and hopefully it'll be the first thing that comes up at the top. So you want to either download that or save that somewhere on your device, so when you're making notes you can make it in line with the spec. This is specifically really important in sciences and less so in maths, because sciences or subjects that use really technical language, so I suppose computing, so you can check that you're using that language in your notes, so then early on you're using that language, so when you're in an exam you're going to use that language and they're going to mark you for it. End of your revising season and you have no time to make notes, the best resources are to either go on to Save My Exams and download all their shadow notes and make sure they match up with your spec. In theory they should, and then do some past papers and add to them, or go on Quizlet and steal flashcards from either your friends or just Google them. So generally you can find them by searching for AQA biology and then insert your topic, and then hopefully once you find someone they would make lots of other Quizlets and you can download them and use them. Next tip is to do past papers. Now if you've watched any of my other smaller subject advice videos, which I recommend you do because they really draw in on the study advice and I expand them in more detail and make them more specific for each subject, as it's more like a general overview to help you start your revision from. But basically you want to do at least 2 papers per subject. I did one I think the night before all of my GCSEs, so that I had the exam brain on, and I recommend scheduling that into your study timetable, and then try and do another one, or so at least 2 per subject or test. Ideally you want to do all of them because they really teach you the language of the paper and how the paper's structured, what the questions are going to be like, and there's also reoccurring topics, as lots of times the same 4 topics will appear in the same paper over and over again, every year, guaranteed. Once you've done your paper you want to make note of all the questions you got wrong / topics you got wrong, so then you can go over them or add to any language that you missed out in your notes back into them. So aka say if you got the terminology for an event wrong or got the date wrong or it's misspelled in some of your notes, you want to put in the correct spelling, so make sure you guaranteed the mark the next time. Now, when you're also revising, you want to make sure you use active recall to test yourself on your notes and flashcards. Now, the nature of flashcards makes them active recall, as active recall is basically testing yourself by using questions, because in an exam you're going to be asked exam questions, therefore it trains your brain on how to retrieve questions, which you'll later use in exam. So this can be by either just covering notes, and asking yourself questions, or using flashcards, or even asking your friends to ask out questions from the textbook on your notes. You want to really use this later on in the year and just before tests, so you can really get questions into your brain. So this is more for essay subjects or questions when you have long questions. That makes no sense, but mainly English and other things with themes. So basically you want to be making essay plans for each potential essay question or essay questions that have come up in the past. So for English I did this around characters and themes in the book I was studying. So A, I was able to condense the book into a couple of pages, and B, when that character or theme potentially came up in the exam, I know exactly what to write, what my points were and what my quotes were going to be. So this can be transferable across any subject you have a big essays in. You also want to know your essay structure, because in essay exams you're generally going to be given the same style of question each time. History you get a 6, an 8 and a 16 marker, or at least for my exam board. So I wanted to know the structure that I was going to include in each of those exams, so when it came up, so when a 16 marker came up, I knew what the structure was going to be, what my intro would have to contain what my starting sentences were for like each of my 3 paragraphs, etc, etc. And this ensures that you don't panic as much when you get the exam, and also you can maximize your time to the best. The camera angles of this video have been so dodgy, but hey ho. So my best resources for general is Physics and Maths Tutor, which I mentioned before. This is for shadow notes. They do flashcards. They also do practical notes, which I didn't realise until about yesterday when I was researching for my physics video, which is coming soon along with my science ones. Then I also use Save My Exams because they have more well-rounded notes, because Physics and Maths Tutor sometimes on a couple of topics can be a bit like thin on their notes, and that often doesn't give you the max amount of information that you need to get full marks. So I'd also cross-check that with your textbook, class notes, or Save My Exam notes when you're using Physics and Maths Tutor, so you can do like a little combo of both of them. Then I also had Cognito, and I think there's another one called like Edu, which is very similar, and they have lessons on Cognito is only sciences and maths, so biology, chemistry, physics, maths. They give you little lessons on each topic. I've mentioned this in other videos before. Then Quizlet for flashcards. I think Anki is also another flashcard video, which some people use, but Quizlet's really useful because a lot of people use it, so you can kind of borrow people's Quizlets if they share them on the internet. And then also, do I save my exams? YouTube. So Sciences is free science lessons. I think literally everyone knows about them. Primrose Kitten also did good overviews. For maths, watching people go through maths papers, because maths mark schemes are literally the most confusing thing in the entire world, or at least they are for me. Suddenly it'll have like a little equation, and then suddenly it'll be like the answer, and I'm like, I have no idea how you got there. So watching people go through maths papers is really helpful when you're trying to revise for maths, especially if you don't really understand formulas, or it's like the first time you're seeing this method used. And then yeah, that's kind of it. If in doubt, just kind of Google your like topic you're looking for, and then like your subject and Edexcel, and then there should be like exam board, sorry, not Edexcel, and there should be like a range of videos to help you with that. That's it. So you're going to do amazingly. Check out for the specific advice videos coming up, and comment any subjects you want to do. I am currently filming physics ones I've done, and chemistry and biology one, and I'm looking to film some more like essay ones, so English Lit, English Lang and history. So comment any more subjects you want to see, / any A-level advice videos which will come in the future. Okay, have a great day. Bye.